Hi, I'm Chris Haigh and this is the Fiddle channel, and today we're going to play Devil Went Down to Georgia. Devil Went Down to Georgia is one of those songs that was likely to have inspired you to start playing fiddle when you first heard it. It was released in 1979 by Charlie Daniels and his band, and it's such a great song. It's got a great story to it and a really exciting part. But this is a complicated song. It's fraught with difficulties and problems if you're going to play it with a band. I've played it probably over 100 times with at least 4 different bands, and I know most of the things that can go wrong with this song, and I'm going to try and show you some of them. We're going to go through it section by section, and I will show you the original parts and I'll suggest some alternatives that you might decide to go for. So first of all, the intro, and before we even do the intro, the first potential problem is that it starts off with bang 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 on the drums and then you're in. And if you're playing in a band with a drummer, you've got to first of all insist that you do get that intro, because it's got to come in hard and it's got to come in exactly right. There's no messing about. And if you miss the first beat, then you turn around and you've lost it already. So my strong advice is, if you know this song is coming up, you turn around and you eyeball the drummer and you watch him play those 4 beats, and then you're going to come straight in the right place. So the melody we have at the beginning is up to, and it doesn't really matter where you end. Now, if you listen to the original, a lot of the notes, particularly in this section, are pretty ambiguous. So you may think that you should be playing, but that I think is slightly closer, and there's quite a few of those notes which, if you listen, it's not obvious what you're supposed to be doing. So you can go for this, but if you play some slightly different notes, no one is going to mind. I mostly go for separate bows on this. Just a slur here, and a slur, 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 and then all separate and down near the heel and kind of bouncing. That kind of thing. And then, here I use my second finger to get that note and a tremolo with the bow. Then we're into the verse. Now you may decide that you're going to shut up at this point and let the verse take its course. But I think it's a good idea to have an option of playing something during this. So you might want to do offbeat chops. 1, 2, 3, 4. The devil went down to Georgia. He was looking for soul to steal. He was in a bind. He was way behind. He was willing to make a deal. That was a D and an A together. You could do a F and a D above it. Came across this young man, saw him on the fiddle and playing it hot. The devil jumped up on a hickory stump, said, "Boy, let me tell you what." Now I have to point out that speaking or singing this, either for me in a Southern American accent or in a Yorkshire accent, either are equally ridiculous. So you're just going to have to put up with whatever I decide is appropriate at the time. You've also got, you can do a kind of shuffle. I guess you didn't know it, I'm a fiddle player too. And if you care, take it there, I'll make a bet with you. Now you play pretty good fiddle, boy, give the devil his due. Play fiddle of gold against your soul, I think I'm better than you. And I do recommend that you do those little chops, even if someone else in the band is doing them, because they're fun to do and it helps to punctuate the line. Then we've got a little bit more vocal. Boys say, my name's Johnny. and it might be a sin, but I'll take your bet, you're gonna regret, and the best has ever been. And do that line as well. And then we've got the descending line, which you might want to sing along with the singer. Johnny rosin up your bow and play your fiddle hard, and broke loose in Georgia and the devil deals the cards. If you win you get a shiny fiddle made of gold, and if you lose the devil gets your soul. And then it's into the melody again. So I'll just go through that again. Johnny rosin up your bow and play your fiddle hard, and broke loose in Georgia and the devil deals the cards. If you win you go get a shiny fiddle made of gold, and if you lose the devil gets your soul. And then it's the same as the beginning. And incidentally I usually do second finger slide up and 2 Ds together there. Let's just take it up to there with the backing. Now the devil went down to Georgia. He was looking for a soul to steal. You were in a bind, you were way behind, you were willing to make a deal. Came across this young man sawing on fiddle and playing it hot. Devil jumped up on a hickory stump, said, boy, let me tell you what. Guess you didn't know it, but I'm a fiddle player too. If you care to take a dare, I'll make a bet with you. Now you play pretty good fiddle, boy, but give the devil his due. Let a fiddle of gold against your soul, so I think I'm better than you. I say my name's Johnny, it might be a sin, but I'll take your bet, you're gonna regret, and the best has ever been. Johnny rosin up your bow and play your fiddle hard, and broke loose in Georgia and the devil deals the cards. If you win you get a shiny fiddle made of gold, and if you lose the devil gets your soul. And said, I'll start this show. Fire flew from his fingertips as he rosined up his bow. Pulled the bow across the strings and it made an evil hiss, and a band of G-mans they joined in, and it sounded something like this. So for this bit, pulled the bow across the strings, it made an evil hiss. It'd be quite nice to do some kind of hiss. You can do it something like that. What I like to do is if you push the bow down far too hard, then you get a really evil hiss. In fact, what you get is subharmonics. That's another story, but you can get ultra low notes that are far below the bottom G. So that's quite fun. Devil opened up his case and said, I'll start this show. If you do a little bit of just that, that's what a lot of fiddle players do as they open the case up. And that is indeed what Charlie Daniels does. So we're on to the Band of Demons. And it's a guitar riff, but you can play that riff. Then we've got the keyboard riff, but again, it's good if you can play it. And this is why the song is so hard, because it's got all these little bits which have to be right. Then we're into the devil solo. And if you happen to have an effects unit, then now's the time to press all the pedals and make lots of evil noises. If you've got no pedals, then just start off with 2 E's and tremolo and just slide up. So some of that, some of this. So it's just a trill of indeterminate length, descending. Or you could do a, if you want it to be interesting, a minor blues solo. But you don't want to make it too good, otherwise the devil might win. So what is really important is to be the right length and to get the signal for when it's going to finish. On the original, you've got a keyboard part going, and at that point you're on the high note and you do a descending thing, and there's that little riff there. And I often at this point do what's called a pick slide, which is the imitation of the guitarist scraping the plectrum down the string, and you do one of these. So this is first finger across the G and the D strings, starting more or less at the harmonic. You press down hard, both with your finger and with the bow, and you just slide down to the bottom. So that's quite a lot of fun. Let's find the backing for that and just go through that bit. So we'll go from the Band of Demons. Then we're into, when the devil finished, Johnny said, "You're pretty good, old son, so sit down in that chair out there, I'll show you how it's done." And then we've got a nice section alternating D chords and C chords. So we've got "Fire in the mountain, run boys run." So that's quite a good line. "Devil's in the house of the rising sun. Chicken in a bed pan a picking out dough. Granny, does your dog bite? No child, no." And this is a double shuffle. And I do have a video about the double shuffle. If you know the double shuffle already, you can augment it slightly by doing something like that. If you don't know the double shuffle, it'll take you quite a while to work that out. But I do think that some of these lines are great and some of them are not so great, and this is an opportunity for you to improvise yourself if you want, just for 2 bars each chord. So any kind of hot fiddle lick that you can find is going to fit in there. Just make sure it's the right length. Then we got the this lick. And then this break. This last part I would do 8 notes slurred. Like that. And this part, that's the bit that's supposed to win Johnny the competition. And if you feel like writing a flashier line, the flashiest you can really, then that's the place to put it in. Again, just making sure it's the right length. I have a version, which I do, and it goes like this. And I was inspired to do this having watched the Mark O'Connor version, which is quite amazing. His version is called "The Devil Came Back to Georgia", and it's an all-star cast including Johnny Cash himself playing along with Charlie Daniels, and of course Mark O'Connor just does the best solos. That's just a pale shadow of what he does. And when you get to that, you've got 4 bars with not very much happening, and what I do there is 4 bars of chopping. Which I love doing that. It's a real chance to show off. If ever you want to show off, then this is the song to do it in. So let's go through that last part from the C's and the D's up to that solo part. Devil's in the house of the rising sun, chicken and the bread pan are baking out dough. Granny's a dog by an old child, no. Then we've got Devil bowed his head because he knew that he'd been beat. Laid the gold fiddle on the ground at Johnny's feet. Devil, just come on back if you want to try again. I've told you once, you son of a bitch, I'm the best that's ever been. And then we've got another run at the Fire on the Mountain. And this time we have a different set of licks. Devil's in the house of the rising sun. And that's, I think, a really good one. That's worth keeping. So it's daddle 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 da with 3 slurs. Chicken in the bread pan picking out dough. Something like that. Actually, no, it's chicken in the bread pan picking out dough. I don't think that's a great one. I think you should find a better one than that. And then Granny's dog by no child, no. What I like to do in this one is the Vassar Clements lick, where he goes from a C with the 4th finger, and it's a chromatic descending lick, which has just got a swirl of notes, most of which are inappropriate, but it's a very flashy one, so I like to do that there. Then we're into the final lick. And here notice that the previous time it was 3 whole ones, and this time it's 2.5. So don't get lost there. So the 3rd time, here we go, off the beat. Now there's 2 fiddles on the original sawing away here, playing fairly divergent lines, and it's really the keyboard player that keeps this together. So after the lick, I suggest that you do, and then follow the keyboard again. I like to do an octave, which I think is what Mark O'Connor does. And then the keyboard is playing. Charlie Daniels is playing 2 fiddles at the same time, and it's pretty ramshackle at the end. What I like to do is, and at the end I'm persuading the audience that I'm playing a chromatic run from here to here, when in fact I'm going. I'm just doing an impression. And that's quite a good ending. I'm going to show you the that with the backing. So I hope you enjoyed this. It's great fun. I hope you didn't think I was too disrespectful to Charlie Daniels. R.I.P. And see you again soon.